The Grateful Crane, a Japanese folk tale. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today, I'm going to tell you an ancient Japanese story called The Grateful Crane, or in Japanese, Tsuru no Ongeshi. This is a story about kindness, sacrifice, and trust. It teaches us an important lesson about greed and respecting others' secrets. Before we begin, let me explain three important words. Grateful, feeling thankful for something someone did for you. Weave, to make cloth by crossing threads together. Greed, wanting more and more, never being satisfied. Now, let's begin our story. Part 1. The Rescue. Long ago, in a small village in Japan, there lived a poor but kind man named Yohei. He lived alone in a simple house at the edge of the forest. One cold winter evening, as snow began to fall, Yohei was walking home through the woods. Suddenly, he heard a strange sound, a desperate cry coming from the trees. He looked around carefully and found a beautiful white crane. The crane was trapped in a hunter's net. The poor bird was struggling to escape, and one of its wings was bleeding. Yohei's heart filled with compassion. Without thinking twice, he gently freed the crane from the net. "Don't worry," he whispered softly. "You're safe now." The crane looked at Yohei with its bright, intelligent eyes. For a moment, they stared at each other. Then the crane spread its wings, cried out once as if to say, "Thank you," and flew away into the darkening sky. Yohei smiled and continued walking home, happy that he could help the beautiful creature. Part 2. The Mysterious Visitor. That night, a terrible snowstorm arrived. The wind howled around Yohei's small house. As he sat by his fire trying to stay warm, he heard a gentle knock at his door. Who could be out in this terrible weather? Yohei wondered. He opened the door and was surprised to see a young woman standing in the snow. She was extraordinarily beautiful, with long black hair and kind eyes. She wore a simple white kimono and was shivering in the cold. "Please, sir," she said, "I am lost and have nowhere to go. May I stay here tonight?" Yohei was a kind man. "Of course," he said. "Please, come in and get warm." The young woman entered and sat by the fire. As the days passed, she continued to stay with Yohei. She was gentle, hard-working, and brought joy to his lonely house. Eventually, Yohei asked her to marry him, and she agreed. They lived together happily, though they were very poor. Part 3. The Magical Cloth. One day the young wife said to Yohei, "Husband, we have no money for food. I know how to weave cloth. Please buy me some thread, and I will make something beautiful that you can sell in the village." But Yohei said, "We don't even have money for thread." His wife smiled mysteriously. "Don't worry, just give me 3 days. I will go into the back room and weave. But you must promise me one thing. You must never, ever look into the room while I am working. No matter what sounds you hear, do not open the door. Do you promise?" Yohei thought this was a strange request, but he loved his wife and trusted her. "I promise," he said. His wife went into the back room and closed the door. For 3 days and 3 nights, Yohei heard the sound of the loom. Click-clack, click-clack, click-clack. He heard nothing else. He became worried, but he remembered his promise. Finally, on the 3rd day, his wife emerged. She looked pale and tired, as if she had not slept at all. In her hands was the most beautiful piece of cloth Yohei had ever seen. It was white as snow and soft as clouds, with patterns that seemed to shimmer in the light. "Take this to the village and sell it," she said weakly. Yohei took the cloth to the market, and a rich merchant immediately offered him a huge amount of money for it, more money than Yohei had seen in his entire life. He rushed home with the gold coins, amazed and happy. Part 4. The Temptation. With the money, Yohei and his wife bought food and supplies. They were comfortable for the first time, but as the month passed, the money began to run out. "Wife," Yohei said, "could you perhaps weave one more cloth?" His wife looked sad, but agreed. "Very well," she said, "but remember your promise. Do not look into the room." Again, she went into the back room. Again, Yohei heard the click-clack of the loom for 3 days and nights. But this time, Yohei's curiosity grew stronger and stronger. "How does she make such beautiful cloth?" he wondered. "We don't even have any thread. What is her secret?" His curiosity turned into greed. "If I knew her secret," he thought, "maybe I could make the cloth myself, and we would be rich forever." On the third night, he could not resist any more. Slowly, quietly, he approached the door. His hand trembled as he reached for it. Then, very carefully, he opened the door just a crack and looked inside. Part 5. The Truth Revealed. What Yohei saw made him freeze in shock. There was no young woman in the room. Instead, there was a white crane, the same crane he had rescued from the trap. The crane was standing at the loom, pulling feathers from her own body with her beak and weaving them into cloth. Her wings were almost bare, and she looked exhausted and in pain. Yohei gasped, and the crane heard him. She turned and looked at him with those same intelligent eyes he remembered from the forest. In that moment, the crane transformed back into the young woman. Tears ran down her face. "I am the crane you saved," she said softly. "I came to repay your kindness by becoming your wife and bringing you happiness. But you have broken your promise. Now I must leave." "No!" cried Yohei. "Please forgive me. I'm so sorry." But the woman sadly shook her head. "I weaved my own feathers to make the cloth. Now that you know my secret, I cannot stay. Goodbye, dear husband. Thank you for your kindness that winter day." She transformed back into a crane, spread her wings, and flew out the window into the sky. Yohei ran outside and watched her fly away, becoming smaller and smaller until she disappeared into the clouds. Yohei never saw his wife again. He lived the rest of his life alone, always regretting the moment his curiosity and greed destroyed his happiness. And that is the end of our story, The Grateful Crane. What can we learn from this tale? This story teaches us several important lessons. Gratitude is powerful. The crane returned Yohei's kindness. Trust is precious. When Yohei broke his promise, he lost everything. Greed destroys happiness. Yohei had love, but he wanted more. In Japanese culture, cranes are symbols of loyalty and good fortune. This story reminds us to appreciate what we have and to respect the trust others place in us. Question for you: have you ever broken a promise and regretted it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe for more Japanese folklore and English learning. See you in the next video.